All right, Vipers Whip back here with picking up where we left off. Basically, I restarted, and this time the events happened again. They've happened every time except the time I was filming. And what I'm talking about there is RC Lens coming for Fenton. They give you a non-negotiable offer. That's a little weird that you can't negotiate deals, whatever. Anyways, it comes out to 130K. That's the most valuable she'll ever be. If you sell her through an intermediary at the start, you get 99,000, and then the intermediary takes like 10%, and you only get 80% of the value or so. Maybe not even that. It might be 60% or something. Well, let's go see how much money I have. Budget. The Griffiths sale went through at 150. I was able to negotiate for that. It's 100 immediately and 50 after she plays a certain number of games. So yeah, I actually have a lot of money. Now, it wasn't... remember, I had like 18 something wages, so... And the transfer for Priscilla went through. So I probably had 76,000 or so instead of $17, right? So I didn't have any money. So 75,000, what's that, a percentage of 130? That's not very good. It's like 60%, yeah. So we'll get another pop when Griffith spawns here. Now, this is important because we're going to want to re-sign certain players. If you re-sign them now, someone like McInnes, see here. This is the first notice you get that she has accepted your offer, that there's a work permit. This 20K comes from the team budget, not your transfer budget. So that's really nice. Our team is in debt already. And this is making it even worse. So we want to... welcome Priscilla. We're not sure on her compatriot yet. Come here, recruitment, transfer activity. Louise, she got 2 offers actually, but the Montpellier one is pretty terrible. I'm just going to reject it. And this is due to go through next week here sometime. So sometime in this coming week, we will hopefully sell her, and Aline we've offered her as much as we can now, and I think she'll probably sign with us. I've always got her in the past, probably not now that I'm streaming it, whatever, or recording it anyways. So I went to calendar. I got my fixture coming up. Now all we're hoping for is that nobody gets injured in training. And there's something I want to do. It's over here in training. I want to come to training intensity. And I'm going to change this. When they're this low, this is when I start subbing them out of games. I don't want them running around and stuff. So I don't want them also training when they're like this. That this is when risk of injury starts popping in at this stage even more, right? So no pitch or gym work. I would sub them off the field if they're like this. So I definitely don't want them doing any kind of high intensity training. I'm not sure why injury risk is high for these people. at normal intensity and their full condition. Griffiths is leaving. I don't care if she gets injured, as long as it's after she gets traded. Yeah, half intensity, I guess, for these people. I don't want them getting injured. And I'm not sure why they are so bad at training. Corbin is young and, healthy. She has great stamina, average kind of natural fitness. She should be able to get through training, but apparently it's a bridge too far. 26-year-old should I don't know why it's high. Anyways, but do go change this one, because that's really low. You don't want them doing even half intensity. It's just not worth it, the risk. And if you don't change that, you're going to start seeing, if you're lucky, it's 1 or 2 days, but it's not great if it's a day or two before the match and you need that player. So if we come here, if you need players, you can come and grab them from your under 21s. So I've already grabbed one. I think she starts up, actually. I'm going to grab Rihanna Blades. And eventually I probably will sign her. Even some of these people I wouldn't really keep or want on my team, like Isla Baxter here. She just is kind of okay at the role. No jumping reach, which I said I want on my... I know that Aline doesn't have it, whatever. So I don't want her. Oh, crap. I had a strategy to keep them until their value went up and then sell them. Like, she's 17, she can be on the under 21s for a few years and her value would go up. And I did some math and paying her $500 a week and blah, blah, blah. 3.5 stars, she could be worth $100,000 or $99,000 or $90,000 or something. But then I've been thinking about it, and the problem you run into in January where no one can afford to buy a player, and at the end of the year, at the end of the season even, when you get transfer budgets and things like that, I don't think the AI plays with the budget to get more wages, to take away from transfer budget or scouting or anything. So I don't think the AI does that. Because Casey Fair, like I said in the last video, which is she's a terrific young prodigy. She'll be 19 or 18, 19 when you can pick her up. She's released because they don't have wage budget. So trying to keep some of these people, sign them just to sell them later, is a very bad idea in the current state of the game. When the lower leagues are here and all of these people, these ones are good. Like you might be able to sell them or something in the summer. January seems to be a lost cause, but every team gets a new transfer budget and maybe their wage budget goes up as well. I don't know. And teams like Chelsea and Manchester will free up space because they have players retiring and they have lots of wage budget and everything. So maybe you can sell these ones, the 4 stars and up. These ones here, I think I'm just going to let them expire until the lower leagues are in the game. Because this is where they belong, in the lower leagues. So you could trade them to the lower leagues. You won't get a ton of money for them, but I would trade them right now. Like, you do need players, but look how many strikers they have. A lot of strikers. They even brought in a loan for a striker. She's a very good striker. So if I get an injury to my strikers, I'll bring her in. because she has good stats. I might even buy her. She has terrific jumping reach. Honestly, she's a good striker. She's better than Dale. She's not better than Scar necessarily. Scar has 15 pace, right? So, or 14 pace, I think, on Scar. Dale has 11 pace or whatever. So this is pretty similar to Dale. And she's 20. She could work on her pace. And Man United actually, sorry. I think the fans would be upset. Man United don't think she's only worth that much. That can be an illusion. They could say 50,000. Do I want to buy her from... Right now, she's worth as little as she's ever going to be, right? Stars kind of lie. Okay, so don't rely just on the stars. I'm not sure what her potential is. She's not in the Wonder Kids list. At least I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not going to go look. I'll think about this one. But in the meantime, I'm going to take Rena Blades up because we need her to back up our right wing, Aline. So I'm going to transfer her squad, move to senior squad. And Katie Watson is one I've used in the past, but her finishing is low. She is someone you can bring up if you manage to sell when the lower leagues are in the game, and you can sell Dale to the lower league, and you can sell Scar to another team who's offloading players to another league so they have space to sign her. You would sell Scar, you would sell Dell. Would bring Katie Watson up and Kiara Berry. And Katie would be the backup, and you would just train her up. She has tremendous potential. I don't think she's on the Wonder Kids list either, so that potential might top off at around 130 or something. But this value for 130 would start to scale up to 250 or 300,000. And she's honestly a fairly decent servant for you. As a backup, you don't want her to be starting until her pace goes up. Her pace, she's only 19, you could probably get it up to 14, which is average in the WSL. So she would be at average pace, which you don't really love on your strikers unless they bring other things to the table, which she doesn't. What she is, though, is a reasonable right wing. Look at her. I have to look at this. Has to work in the heading department. Yes, I made note of that. Aerial presence is how you train heading, so these two things are the same. Leading player for most FA women's north and south sides. That means right now, she belongs 2 leagues down from this. I'm pretty sure there's another league below the WSL2. That might be north and south, actually, now that I think about it. So maybe maybe 1 league down. So, yeah, maybe just 1 league down right now. She would be a leading player there, which means she can do okay here. And, of course, she has potentially... This gray star is speculative. This one is likely. So you can see she's 2 stars. So she's definitely 2 stars. These 2 are very likely. This one is extremely, extremely likely. This one is likely, and this one is unlikely, kind of based on your training facilities. We have very good training facilities. I left hiring the staff for the under 21s to the under 21 manager. And I'm going to do some things here. This is something you should do on day one, and I kind of forgot. You want to go here to responsibilities and delegation. Can't do anything with the board because you're not the CEO or whatever. And for staff responsibilities, I want to hire and fire the under 21 manager though. This other stuff, it's too much. I just don't want to deal with it. But I do want to decide who's in charge down there. Coaching courses, I want to decide who goes because it will send coaches that are not very good on coaching courses, which is a waste of money. Like I said, we don't have a lot of money. So you want to control who goes and decide under 21 staff. Do I want to delegate that? I'll leave it like this for now. And yeah, the rest of this under 21 can be the manager's responsibility. Scouting, I want to take control of where the scouts go. And when you scout a player, you get, I don't know if they changed this. You seem to get knowledge after 1 week, but historically, it was always 2 weeks. So I don't know if they changed it to 1 week. Realistically, it would take probably even longer, like probably 2 months to see. You could do until full knowledge, but that's a long time, and you get most of the information after 2 weeks. This could be less. Like if it's a team you play a lot, against a lot, you can get full knowledge pretty quickly. I'm going to do 2 weeks. Talking about this player database. This database will go up just from you playing games. When you play a character, when you play a team, women will get added to this list because you just played the team. So you learned about them. You haven't scouted them. So if you come here, we don't know their potential. We don't know anything about them from, trait-wise. They could dread big matches. You do not want somebody on your team that dreads big matches. So before you sign anyone, you should scout them. Now, let's just say that the first time I went and got Aline and Priscilla, you don't get to be on the under 20 national team of Brazil if you dread big matches, because that's all you play as a national team. You're only playing big matches. You're trying to, maybe the friendlies don't count, but you're doing tournaments, you're trying to make the World Cup, you're seeding in the World Cup based partly on your world ranking, which is determined by how many matches you win and goals you score and your goals differential and stuff like that. Like there's a lot that goes into it. So every game the national team plays is a big game. So I can't imagine there's a national team in the world. There's enough football players, even in Canada, that you don't have to have someone on your team that dreads big matches. Because, no matter how talented they are, you do not want them wandering around on the field terrified. Dread. It's a synonym for terrified. Like, you don't want that. So this database will grow as you play games. So if you don't find anyone here now, this is a goalie again. Goalkeepers have the best jumping, and I want it on a striker. And this doesn't have... What if you could make one a striker? Attributes, it's attacking, I think. No, technical, finishing. Who's this? That's a striker. This goalkeeper, actually. How old is she? 18. With 7 striking. She's never going to be awesome. And this pace could only go up to maybe 13. We don't know what her potential is. Her anticipation. All of this stuff would go up naturally. Like if you train her as a striker, this stuff will go up because you're training her as a striker. The stuff you have to specifically target, this will also go up as a striker, these things. But to get it up, you're going to want to train it. And finishing, you're going to want to train it as well. It's going to get trained, training her as an advanced striker or whatever. But you're going to want to train that. So, yeah, we're going to... Oh, that would be an amazing experiment. There is an achievement for making somebody into a natural... Oh, this is an attacking midfielder. What am I talking about? I thought that was a goalkeeper. Do we have a goalkeeper? No, this one. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about. So there is an achievement for changing somebody's position to be a natural also in another position. And I don't think it means this. I think it means when they've played this kind of position before, but they're not natural at it. So you would make them natural right winger if they were a striker and they played this a bit. So I can't imagine trying to get this person to be a striker. There is a woman in this game that I totally empathize with. She's not here yet. She will show up in my database eventually. But she is a striker and a defenseman. So she's a center defender or a striker. Those are her 2 positions. She's natural at both of them. Think about that journey. I had that journey. I won't win a 100-yard dash, but if you put a ball there that you have to get to, when I was an 18-year-old boy, I could run. And I was one of the fastest people playing football in BC, in the province. I know because I went to provincials and I played the best teams in the province. The Vancouver teams, and we always lost to both of them and came in 3rd all the time. So whatever, it happens because big cities have much more people to draw from for their teams. Anyways, if their strikers were faster than our center D, I was moved to center D. If our center D could keep up with their striker, I played striker. So, yeah, I empathize with that lady's journey. And I would love to get her on my team. But she's not here yet. So this list will grow as you play teams. And think about the teams you could play. You could play Man City or Man United in the FA Cup, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. Liverpool. And yeah, so you can learn a lot about teams for teams that you want to eventually be part of that group and play Champions League football in Europe. If you've watched women's football, right, 800 or 900 people are going to show up for Sunderland because their team is pretty mediocre. But when Man City and Man United play, or any of the top teams play each other, you get a lot of fans at those games. When the Champions League is going on, you fill stadiums for the women and really impressive crowds, lots of fan involvement, not the same level of vitriol and fan stupidity that you see at the men's game where you have hooligans before and after the game. So it's more of a, I would say that women's football presently, it could always change, is more family friendly than men's football. Like in Scotland, I don't think you want to, unless you're a hard guy, you don't want to go to a Glasgow game necessarily. But Glasgow women, you can take the kids and go to the Glasgow women's game. So it's more family friendly. I watch more women's football than I do men's. I really only watch Sunderland. I watch Sunderland with my grandfather. he didn't live long enough to see their decline to League One. But the renaissance is pretty awesome as well. So I hope he's in heaven there and enjoying Sunderland men's football right now, because they're a lot of fun to watch. And one of the reasons why I chose to manage this team instead of the Sunderland men's team is the Sunderland men's team already has a great manager. They're already doing well. They don't do well in this game because I don't think this game properly represents. You can choose the tactic, so that's how it fixes the problem. We can play with our tactic and we can come up with the best tactic. I don't think this game properly represents what a great manager can do to motivate their players to play really well, for people to play beyond their perceived value. Think of when Jeremy Vardy and Leicester went and won the Premier League, right? Like, he was not thought of to be a Premier League striker. Unfortunately, he was older already, so he didn't get a lot of chance to show it, but he did for a couple of years there. And because partly the whole... There was a unique situation there, a terrible, terrible, terrible situation that happened there, and it kind of galvanized the team. They had a good coach, good management, and they got the best out of their players they could possibly get. And this game doesn't do that, I don't think. I always start off as a junior coach, so and I take coaching courses, but I've got to continental first class coaching. And I don't think it matters how inspirational you are. I chose inspirational for my coaching attributes. We'll see if it matters in this game. I don't know. I haven't seen it myself, because I've beat teams with obviously much better managers. So I don't know. We're going to go forward, see if we get a lean. And we're not seeing any more offers for her. So if we go here, Jessica Brown I brought up already. There's another under 21 I need, I think. I'll grab her. And also, here we go. If we select all these players, this is training camp. Just ask assistant to pick, but I want to go to the under 21s. And I need this person to back up Corbin. So you're going to make her available for the under 21s. You should make all of your subs. You can't really carry two full teams. Players want to play, and you don't play enough. The men play a lot of games. So there she is. Okay. So you can always add players to this, go back to this and try and add them, so that's fine. Because Aline's going to be joining us. I decided not to go get that defenseman. Griffith set to sign for Leicester. Here we go. Accept. 150. 50K after 20 league appearances. We're trading her before the season starts, unless she gets injured. But she's going to sign a multi-year contract with Leicester, so we'll see her when we play them in the FA Cup or the League Cup or whatever. So that's really nice. And if we continue a day, you stop the time by clicking that X. Leicester signs Griffiths 6 to 8 weeks. That's an under 21, thankfully. Alina Gomez chose us. She chose us. I'm so happy. You can get her. I had to pay her, I think, $1,700. The bad thing about having that youngsters shortlist is that every time somebody goes after one of the kids on that shortlist, you get an email about it, and you really don't care about most of them because you really can't afford them. So continue. And let's see. So Priscilla, we're going to accept. Tomorrow we'll get an email, or later this day we'll get an email where you ask somebody from your team to welcome her, and you have to send her on her English class. When you sign coaches from America into England here, it makes you send them on a English class, to an intensive English class. So I want to go to budget here and see how my budget went after the Griffith sale. Oh yeah, I went way up. So they won't let me change it right now. It will take a week or something for this. Like once the sale goes through, it takes a little bit. But I have $4,000 in wage cap and $156,000. This means in January, things change. If you're at the top of the WSL and you're in January, so you haven't won it yet, but you're obviously, it's not an illusion because you can be at the top after just winning the one game. But you're 10 games in January when the January transfer window opens. So you're halfway through the season. They play 22 games. Players that ignored you at the beginning will recognize that you're likely to get promoted and will be willing to talk to you. So you can go get a good defenseman, and you'll have done scouting through the League Cup and the FA Cup and playing all the teams. And those teams don't have money or wage budget, not like we do, because they're not really selling players right now. The AI doesn't really have that because there's no leagues to send your players to downwards, so you can't empty space and all the other stuff I've complained about. So yeah, we have enough to re-sign players when we want to, which will be around December, because you don't want them asking for those new wages right now for the full year. We want to pay them more later. So that's really good. Any other obeys? No, we don't care. So I'm going to go till we get Aline, and then I'll pick it back up in the next episode where we're going to start the season. So I'm going to assign her squad number. I can't play with this yet, but for some reason the loan has the number that Marissa Shiva, an actual signing with the team, wants, so I'll change that later. Oh, did I auto and then confirm? And for some reason it continues I should have remembered that. It shouldn't do that. So if I come to all here, where is it? Right here. Priscilla set to sign. Priscilla signs. So you need to do squad registration. Add her to the squad. That doesn't continue the game. Only the assigning numbers does. Add to training. Send on intensive language. Ask Jones. It kind of randomly picks who you're going to talk to. And Jones is not upset by the fact that we traded Griffiths and everybody. So I'm not sure I'm the best for this job. I took convincing as part of my coaching setup, and I have not been able to convince anyone of anything. Yeah, I think we're done here. Oh God! So there's no one to and there's no one to help Priscilla. Whatever. Aline will be here soon. Her countryman. Now it often happens that Aline's work permit is denied, and then you have to appeal it, and it's always come through really quickly on appeal. So I'm not sure how the work permit system in England works. But, oh, she came through on the first, no, that's Priscilla. Okay, so, press conference, good day for the club, delighted to have her here, utmost confidence, of course I do, because she scores tons of goals in my previous attempts. Obviously, you would be happy to get a quality player like that. Yeah, she's going to play a role. Okay. And only Brazilian player right now. In a week or so, she'll get some help. So just say I'm looking to help her whenever I can, because... And I just come down here. Football is a universal language. Yeah, sure. And I'm already planning to trim the squad appropriately. Just pick that. And Steph Houghton was a good player for the club. I didn't really follow the women's team too well because it wasn't easy to watch them on TV. They came in 1989, and my grandfather was still alive, but they weren't on TV. So in British Columbia, Canada. Priscilla off. Okay, so here we go, and we are going on. Jones is injured. She plays behind Atkinson, 9 days to 2 weeks. I don't like that you can't set it to only go for a day. Anything here? No tasks. Okay, yeah, so it gets... And then, so they charge you 20 for the work permit, and then 5 for the appeal. So it's just a racket. She's obviously good enough. She's from a freaking national team. And it goes through. Oh, are we going to play a match? No, I'll play this match next time. So I'm going to save the game. And I'll set up the tactic and go through it next time. That's long enough for an episode. So thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time, which should be, well, maybe later today. I've got some work to do, or tomorrow, but I'll post it when I get it done. All right. Thanks, everyone.